GEBT, the 13C spirulina gastric emptying breath test. Your doctor has recommended the Cairn gastric emptying breath test, GEBT, to help determine if you have gastroparesis, a condition in which the stomach does not empty properly. This short video will guide you on how to take GEBT at home under the supervision of a telehealth administrator. What to expect when taking GEBT? GEBT is being prescribed to you and ordered by your physician. The test will measure how quickly a specially designed test meal empties from your stomach after an overnight fast. GEBT will require approximately 4.5 hours to complete. However, most of the time you will be sitting quietly, refraining from any vigorous activity. It is perfectly acceptable to read a book, use a tablet, or watch TV during this time. You will not be allowed to eat, drink, or smoke before and during the test. You can resume these activities when the test is completed. Should you need extra assistance in addition to your tele-administrator, it is recommended that you have a trusted family member or friend present during the day of the test. Now, we are going to have a brief overview of the GEBT test administration process after an overnight fast. First, you will start by collecting 2 pre-meal breath samples. You will have a tele-administrator available with you, guiding you through the entire process. Next, you will prepare, cook, serve, and eat the GEBT test meal. Then, over the next 4 hours, you will collect post-meal breath samples over 6 different time points. Finally, you will submit the GEBT samples to the lab via UPS. Next, we will take a look at what is included in your GEBT kit. These are the items in the kit: a spirulina egg mix pouch, a 3 fluid ounce pouring cup for measurement, a large white cooking cup, 8 breath sample test tubes and a test tube holder, a pouch of 6 saltine crackers, 2 drinking straws, utensils, a test request form, a package insert, instructions, and a prepaid mailing envelope. Now, let's discuss what is not included in your GEBT kit, but is necessary for taking the test: a drinking cup, a plate, drinking water, a timer, and an 1100-watt microwave. Now that you've become familiarized with your GEBT kit, this is what the GEBT test meal will look like once it's cooked. And yes, the eggs are supposed to be green. Before getting started, you will need to complete the GEBT test request form. You will fill out the patient information section and patient details section in entirety. Do not forget to sign your name. Remember, you will have a tele-administrator assisting you while filling this out during the test. You are now ready to move on. For the next part of this video, we are going to walk through how to collect a breath sample and how to prepare the GEBT test meal. Are you ready to get started? Now, let's collect your pre-meal breath samples. You will begin by unwrapping the straw that was included in your GEBT kit. You will then remove the blue cap from the breath sample test tube, and you will insert the straw into the tube and hold the tube in a comfortable position. Take a deep breath and pause momentarily. Blow gently into the tube for 5 to 10 seconds while slowly removing the straw. You will gently replace the cap on the test tube, being careful not to over-tighten the cap. You will record the exact time that you completed the breath sample, and you will give this information to your tele-administrator. Finally, you will collect the second blue-capped test tube by repeating the same process and recording your time. Now, let's watch a quick demonstration on how to collect the actual breath sample. The next step of the process is to begin the test meal preparation. Now let's move on to measuring the water that you will consume with your GEBT test meal. You will measure 3 fluid ounces of water into the pouring cup 2 times and then add it to the drinking cup to achieve this. Let's set aside the drinking cup of water and move on to the next step. Now, let's start to prepare the GEBT test meal. You will start first by adding the egg mix in the pouch to the cooking cup. You will then measure 3 ounces of water and add that to the cooking cup and the egg mix. You will stir this with a spoon. Next, you will cook this in an 1100 watt microwave for 1 minute. You will then remove the cooking cup and flip the egg mixture over with a spoon. Next, you will reinsert this back into the microwave and cook for another 30 seconds. When you are finished, you will remove, and please be careful as it will be hot. Finally, you will cut up the cooked egg mixture from the cooking cup and serve it on a plate. It's time to consume your GEBT test meal. Be sure to have your utensils ready, your cooked egg meal that's served on a plate, your 6 saltine crackers, and your 6 ounces of drinking water. You will consume all of this within 10 minutes or less. Please be sure to record the exact time at which you finish the meal and give this information to your tele-administrator. Now, let's watch a video of someone making the actual GEBT test meal. Just as a review, you are now on the final stretch of the GEBT test collection process. Let's collect post-meal breath samples. These are the 6 test tubes that are still left in your test tube holder. Your telehealth administrator will help calculate your 6 post-meal breath test times. You will record these on the test requisition. Your administrator will call you back for each collection time, so please keep your phone on, fully charged, and nearby. Also, as a side note, you will collect the test using the same process as you did with the pre-meal breath collections using the straw. Cap and replace each test tube sample and replace it back into the same time slot in the test tube holder. Your test administrator will call you at approximately 45, 90, 120, 150, 180, and 240 minutes from the exact time of the test meal completion. At each time point, you will be asked to give a breath sample. Congratulations! You have now completed the GEBT. It is time to return the samples to Cairn Diagnostics Laboratory using the prepaid mailing envelope that was included in your kit. Be sure to include in the envelope all of the breath sample test tubes, there should be 8, and then close the test tube holder. Also include the test request form that you filled out earlier. You will then return your package to Cairn Diagnostics within 3 business days. Thank you for taking GEBT.